Welcome, friends, to Let's Play Rule the Waves 3 as Germany, starting in 1935. It's, whatever, May 1967. We are in part 2 of a major battle in the Gulf of Maine, and we have every opportunity for a reasonably famous victory. I say reasonably famous because the American US Navy forces around about here aren't that big. They appear to be a battleship slash battle cruiser, a handful of light cruisers, a pile of destroyers. I have over here a surface action group based around the Reichskraft, which is heading to fight. And in fact, they are just starting to enter gun range after a whole world of missile barraging. I think the missiles are over. Certainly my surface action group has run out of missiles. I suspect the Americans have as well. It's quite possible that the US Navy is going to run for ports. Certainly that would be the wisest thing to do. Portland is off in that direction. So I have this little detached squadron coming up. It does still have a whole range of missiles, which is lovely. I've also detached down here a heavy cruiser squadron to come and reinforce. Once I notice which way they're going, obviously I might move it into the appropriate direction. Over here we have the carriers that are heading into the wind, such as it is, because, well, actually the wind is dead calm. We're also moving towards the coast of Nova Scotia, just in case anything untowards. And the Ellie Bonheim, which has become detached, is also racing to catch them up. Reports have occurred in all of these little places, and I think they're all wrong. They all talk about the same force, and that force is the same size as this. So I don't think there are any nasty surprises. I've just noticed there's a new radar contact there. Probably a merchant ship, maybe a corvette or something like that. All I have to do to fulfill this mission, which I haven't done so far, is to sink 2 ships within this point here, within 100 nautical miles, and this is certainly within 100 nautical miles. So that's the plan. Engage this bunch, check which way they're going, bring up reinforcements, bring up these guys to cut them off and use their missiles, and constantly cycle the carriers, because there is, so far as I've seen so far, no significant American air activity, which is great. One final thing, we are minutes away from dusk, so the majority and the remainder of this battle is going to be at night. So yeah, that's where we're up to. So I've just zoomed in slightly. Let's just advance it one at a go. Yeah, poor old. So I've taken some losses, which is a shame, but there you go. Obviously, I can't tell what losses I've inflicted. Okay, and we've got some gunfire going on. So DD1 near missed by a missile. Well done for the decoy forces again. That's tricky. DD1 has 79 flooding at the moment. It's limited that flooding a little bit, but which is great, and it's extinguished some fires. Well done. But it's not sufficiently damaged to let it go off in its own direction. Right, let's see if we can determine which way these things are going. I mean, the flag, well, I don't know actually. Does the flag imply anything? Oops, well, they still certainly do have some missiles. Bugger. And DD1 is doing a great job decoying. Come on, DD3, you can do the same. So, I mean, they seem all over the place. This would seem to be the battleship. This, yeah, who knows? It's a whole world of unidentified. So yeah, we've got some more coming our way. So that's 46%. So that's definitely DD3 given an opportunity to detach. Detach. Bring it under control. Go to 5. Head towards Nova Scotia. Let's do the thing. So I think they are heading to the west, heading to Portland. Why wouldn't you? So I'm going to swing the Reichsgraf around and see what that does. Okay, let's see what that does. Oops. Another missile. Ouch. And another one, DD1. Well, they're being very good at hitting us with missiles. I honestly don't know where they're all coming from. I mean, obviously, I've got no idea what classes these ships are. Oh, look, a carrier. There's no carrier there. Yeah. Because if you go into their Wikipedia, they don't really have many ships with a lot. I mean, they have a lot with no missiles on, and then most of them are ones with 4. Quite a lot with 2 as well. But yeah. A few with 8, but mainly not. Some of these Corvettes with 8, they look nasty. I'm reluctant. So I do have some missiles left. Obviously, I've got the air, and I'll check the air in a moment. I'm reluctant to loose off these guys' missiles, partly because these are in the way, so I want better arcs. Partly because they have this, I'm going to call it messy formation. And then, I have no idea. Is that the battleship? I mean, these are probably cruisers and stuff. I'm not seeing any of these static. Nope, they all seem to be moving perfectly happy. Okay, there's an air group coming. Oh, for heaven's sakes. I mean, that's not going to be too serious, but still, come on. Now, one of the troubles is that opening your arcs for gunfire obviously equally opens up yourself for broadside for a missile attack. So maybe we'll go head on. So sort of you can only ever go head on. Ooh, look at the flooding on that. Ouch. So that's definitely a slowdown till we bring that one under control. I mean, they're wiping us out, absolutely wiping us out, and we're not doing anything, seemingly, in comparison. Very frustrating. A very unequal battle. I'm hitting stuff, but I'm not sinking stuff, or I'm not stopping stuff. They're hitting me. I'm, getting massive flooding. Very frustrating. Okay. Let's get my peeve out of the way. Nice to see missile shot down by light. Stams. Let's see where we are in terms of putting together some strikes. Okay. So there's some jet attacks there. So let's get them ready. And some more there. Well, I'll wait till a few more are ready there. Yes, it's difficult to know what strategy to adopt. I mean, perhaps I should just instruct my ships to be a chaotic swarm of ships zooming around. I mean, show me which of these ships have open missile firing arcs. So here's a Brooklyn. How are we doing with a Brooklyn? Okay. 4 surface-to-surface missiles. Long gone. Farewell, DD4. So we've hit a transport, and DD1 takes some more missiles. Okay. How far am I away? So 21,000 yards. Well, that seems more than enough. These guys have been tootling along at 30 knots, and they don't seem to have got anywhere whatsoever, which is peculiar. And equally, my my airstrikes transport hit by missile. I mean, it will fulfill the objectives of the battle, but that's not what I want. Who told you to sink transports when your priority is to sink battleships? And again, they're still going all over the place, this lot. Okay. A new strike ready. Farewell, DD1. How are we doing here? Not sure why you've forgotten who you're supposed to be following. Okay, we're limiting the flooding on Ragsgraf, but it's still way too much. So I'm just going to pull her out for the moment and slow her all the way down to the traditional 5 and bring her around like that. Let's bring these guys out of AI, bring them round. This is going to be costly unless I sink something big. Okay. Okay, so there's an actual identification of an actual battleship. Hello. Seems a nice modern battleship. Lots of heavy AA, 16 heavy SAMs, as surface-to-surface missiles, a couple of heavy SAMs, a couple of light SAMs, reasonable armor, nothing to shout about, 10 16-inch guns. Yeah, a worthy opponent. No, we don't want to do that. I want to do this. Boom. Right. So let's find some people within reasonable range. So let's see if Z71 can let loose. Friendly ships at risk of being hit. What about the Königsberg? Ships with mount not bearing will turn. Okay, so Z71 has reloaded. Bless it. It's got 5 flooding, so it's slowed right down, but I'm going to turn it and point it in what I want to call the right way. But there are all these ships in the way. Königsberg is down here, so I'm going to try and get this to come out. I'm going to move the Reichsgraf directly to the south. So the good news is, ooh, we know where you are. Let's do a bit of strikes. Okay, that's launched a few strikes. So, McCormack. So, yeah, 8 heavy surface missiles, 2 Brooklyns, each with 4. The Bonhomme Dickey with 16. So, I mean, good news. If they are indicative of the ships here, then this equals a significant amount of the US Navy's well-armed, well missile-armed warships. So let's take some joy with that, and yeah, let's look at the Albatross because that seems like a reasonable one to see if it can fire. So there's the Albatross, and perhaps Z62, and let's fire all of them. Boom. If that doesn't teach it a lesson, I don't know what will. Ooh, he's really coming after us. So, airborne ECM reduces SAM effectiveness. Well done, our airborne ECM. Hurrah! Let's just check how you are doing. 50% damage. Not liking that. I'm not going to lie. 125% flooding. Not liking that at all. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ouchicles. Yeah, that's got to put a crimp in its stride. Also, this chap also with 4. Okay. So heavy damage on fire. Heavy damage on fire. Okay, that's what we'd like to see. What about this Howard class? Yep, 4. So, and the Renshaw, also 4. So yeah, some of the better. So that makes me feel a bit better. This is not just, some bunch of losers. This actively is the best that they have, or some of the best that they have. How are you boys doing? You're undamaged, so you probably don't need to be quite so slow. And 2 more. Now, all right, terms and conditions apply. These are reports. Who knows whether the reports are actual, but yeah, we shall see. Just to refresh my memory, Nyland, the Admiral Shear, so they're on just under 2%. What is their weaponry? 10-inch guns. Yep, 10-inch guns. Okay, I mean, that would be nice. Certainly against something like the Brooklyn, 6-inch guns. They've got 1-inch belt. What belt do we have? 3s, yeah, it's 2.5s. So some resistance against a 6-inch gun, you would hope. And a couple more missiles. Well, that's nice. So let's just carry on. I'm going to call it semi-disengaging. So this has gone down to medium damage, but I mean, you can't tell that. That's on fire. It's also slowing down. Obviously, it's effectively hiding. And Oklahoma, also with 4. Okay, some hits against Brooklyn, medium damage. Okay. So far my losses, I've got 4 destroyers sinking. DD1, 3, and 4. It's a shame. They're pretty good. And Z75 here. Z71 is still struggling with flooding, but if it can overcome that, that's good. Eisenhower and Shear are starting to do some hits, so they've just hit the Brooklyn, which is good. Richard Bonhomme Richard rather, is turning away, as it might. I still have half of the destroyers here with surface missiles, so I'm happy with that. I've got air attacks coming along. Here comes the Scharnhorst, so it is going in this north-northeasterly direction. I think, given the way that it's going, it probably wants to go in a northwesterly direction. So happy with that. The old carriers keep on speeding up whilst I'm trying to get Otto to catch up with them. But otherwise, I think they're fine. There's the coast of Nova Scotia, so I just want them to be heading towards sort of there. And cut the corner slightly to there, that's fine. It's a great pity that we didn't take this as a base as well. This I've had some wonderful battles, I think private ones, not on camera, of like 1905 or something, with the British against the Americans fighting in there. But anyhow, rule the waves, memory lane. Okay, all good stuff. Let's carry on here. Really need the Reichsgraf to come back online. 63 flooding, so, better, but still 50% damage. Still quite a lot. Let's just think, yeah. So it's enjoying the 5 knots sort of thing. Lots of flooding being limited. Keep at it, boys. Let's see what this is reporting currently. Oh, it's not reporting anything now. Okay. Okay, so we managed to fire some missiles from Z70 there at the Bonhomme Richard. So that will keep the pressure up. I'm still trying to nurse the missiles, and obviously I've got airstrikes coming in soon. Enemy aircraft approaching Eisenhower. I don't like the sound of that at all. I mean, there is an airbase in Portland. It's amazing. Enemy unidentified. So it's already gone to unidentified. How annoying is that? But certainly a couple of hits. Flooding at 39. So, patrol bombers launch missiles at Gneisenau. Well, I mean, come on. I was going to say, patrol bombers, they surely should be vulnerable to, Heavy SAM, 3 aircraft damaged. Right. Good stuff. Reichsgraf limits flooding again. Down to 2. Wow, extraordinary. Well done, boys. Now, still 50% damage. Just going to leave that a little bit longer because those 1s and 2s, they can just go on and on and on and on, and then suddenly you find yourself sunk by progressive flooding, which no one enjoys. So I'm just going to turn these boys in this direction. Ooh, Z70 hits a missile as well. Now, it's one thing I've noticed. If I take a missile, boom, that's it. Wallop. Instant. Oh, look. One missile, 96% damage. No, so I mean, it's probably a goner. But, and that's fine. I'm not objecting. What I'm objecting is when we come to look at the Americans, will they get as many unicorn hits? You know, one hit, one sinks. I'm thinking not. Just leaving it out there. Hmm. Still at 2. So now our whole target acquisition has all gone a bit thingy, even though this is actually 11,000 is a bit too close, actually. So I'm going to see if I can fire the remainder of the missiles, and yeah, just go. Well, 2 missiles fired is better than no missiles fired. Oof, there you go. Let's see if we can get someone else. Was this CL? That looks like somebody we should be shooting at. That's a no. Okay, that's 4 fired at that. So I think, yep, that's our surface-to-surface missiles gone from that group. So let's pull back, actually. Air formations ready. Okay. And some approaching. And a few more ready too. Oof. Well, there's a whole pile more missiles at somebody, somewhere. Well done, boys. Now, I've been stuck with a problem, which is because I'm on this slightly older version, I can't just right click and change the mission, just in case you're wondering, why isn't Dickie doing that? Well, I get this. And I've just suddenly remembered that what I can do is I can select them and, no, not them. And then I can hit the all heavy. So now the fighters will launch missiles. Huzzah. That would be great. Very much want to enjoy that. So let's get them launched. Yep, that is my intention. Right. Escort has bombs loaded and mission escort. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't change the mission, but I can at least get them up and out. I'm just trying to bring all these boys back together again. Still at 2 flooding. They're all sunk or sinking, unfortunately. Aside from you, yeah, still 5 flooding, so I'm still trying to keep you in touch. Yeah. Are they launching torpedoes? I think they are. A couple more missiles. Now, there's somebody dead in the water, so that's nice to see, whoever they are. Let's bring these into support and line ahead. That would be a better firing pattern. I think they're only 4 inches. Yeah. But still, you know. Reichsgraf is still firing at somebody. A CA, apparently. And I mean, you know, the range is 25,000, so it's quite far away. But we are on still 2 flooding. Oh, 0.3. Yeah, okay. We might just hold fire for that, just for a minute. Actually, whilst it's still flooding, I'm still going to take it away from the action. There come the other cruisers. If I go to here, yeah, oh, they're actually doing the speed I asked them to, which is nice. More of the missile hits, which is great. So I'm going to bring these down to 25. They're at 25. They're at 25. They're at 29. So hopefully just catching up. And then, yeah, everybody else. So Rexcraft still has 8 missiles on board, and I'm just struggling to see, you know, where they are. I mean, are they these rear ones? I've just asked it to fire. It said no, I have to turn. So I'm going to, so assuming they fired on the port side, then surely if I turn the starboard side round, that should do that whole thing. Maybe. Set to independent. Let's just go in there. No, that seems fair enough. They're all within shouting distance. Reichsgraf opens fire on escort. Excellent. I mean, some of these escorts are damn dangerous, so you know, let's not downplay it too much. Still too flooding, which is a shame. Still a tiny percentage, but we've got 94% ammo, so normally at under 1% I might turn them off for 10 minutes, but actually at 1% that's fine. I would be more aggressive with, well, that's nice. I've sunk 2 ships. I wonder what. So good. So I've managed to fire some missiles. So Reichsgraf only has 2 left, which is great. Shame about the flooding. I had a feeling that flooding is just going to be a right old pain. More missiles. So that's good. So let me just zoom out and describe what I think is happening. So I've been sending my destroyers and light cruisers and heavy cruisers off in this direction to essentially cut them off at the coast. Got the Reichsgraf just pottering around, trying to launch missiles. I'm probably going to send it back around until I can get that 2 flooding sorted. But it has caused the Americans to shy away, I believe, so, and cut them off from their base. So effectively, although we're basically reduced down to guns, I think I think Reichsstaff has a couple of missiles, but I think that's pretty it. So I've got the extra heavy cruisers coming up this way, so I might want to bend them straight up if the Americans are being effectively cut off, and we're corralling them up against the coast so that the carriers, who are just entering nighttime now, can keep on pummeling them. We're only 183 minutes into a 1,100 minutes, so we've still got nearly 1,000 minutes to go. So I could almost pull away all of this lot and just sit this force between where they are now and Portland and just keep on with the airstrikes. So that's fair enough. And some more missiles popping in. And Gneisenauer here has sighted somebody. The old unknown ship. Just going to flatten out Mainz and Königsberg to improve their arcs. And do you know what? I'm going to send these boys back to Reichsgraf because we're a bit under escorted for Reichsgraf. Also, he's getting a bit hot there. So let's flatten out the heavy cruisers. And we can bring down the speed to 25s. No point overdoing it. Still 2 flooding. Keep checking. Yeah, they've definitely turned. So that's great. Little hit on Gneisenauer from a 6-inch gun. Doubt it's anything to worry about. Oh, or it's a 50% damage. What? Ha! You're kidding me. Oh, both turrets have jammed, right? 1967, and was suffering from turret jamming like it's 1907. Wonderful. Right. Well, hopefully somebody with a spanner will go and fix that shortly. Okay, we've hit a CA. Since they're all turning around, here we are with Scharnhorst hammering their way up. Let's turn slightly more to the north. I'm just going to see if I can see if any of these are static, right? So, and I'm just going to mark them. It's gone very dark now. Farewell, DD3. Thanks for your service. So, yeah, despite the radar range coming all the way out to here. Okay, they're sinking, so they probably don't have any. Reichsgraf out to there, but yeah, suddenly we've lost sight of most of these. I mean, it'd be lovely to think we've lost sight of them because they've slipped underneath the waves, but I have no reason to believe that. Indeed, I can only account for the 2 ships that made our target, and then this one, which is static, which mercifully no one is firing at. As Gneisenauer got its, it's got one of its turrets back. Not sure why the shear isn't shooting at somebody. Okay, they're going that way. All right, well, if you're going that way, we'll go that way too. Let's close in with them. Let's come back because I think they've done their job. Just see where this dot is going. Might just carry on with them actually, but turn back the rest. Right, so they're all popping away towards flooding to Reichsgraf. So let's open up all of our turrets. Let's see if we can attract the attentions of any of these people. We've got these 3 ships, I'm going to call them cruisers, bearing down the Reichsgraf. I've got the Reichsgraf's turn to open up its broadside to, teach it an old-fashioned lesson. We've got the Gneisenauer and the Blucher over here, who are turning to open up their guns. One of Gneisenauer's turrets has unjammed itself. Mainz and Königsberg are a bit behind, but they will come up. We will ignore that ship because it's static, so we will go for this ship and see if we can get any of the missiles. Now, some of the missiles might come from the cruisers, the Scharnhorst, coming up from the rear. The Blucher, look at the Blucher. And the Blucher got a lot of lovely missiles. That's, yeah, coming up from there as well. So yeah, let's just see if we can fire a few missiles. So it's a big no from the Blucher. 4 ships aboard due to being in the way. Okay, let's close that. And the first thing to hear is to actually go line abreast. Line abreast is obviously a much better, much better way of launching missiles than good old-fashioned line ahead. So good to know. So yeah, there's the Scharnhorst. The Scharnhorst is currently 30,000 yards away from the lead of this ship on its death ride. I mean, I'm calling it a death ride. I mean, terms and conditions apply. So these ships are in the way from the Scharnhorst launching as well. So, the good news of having ships in front of you to soak up missiles is one thing, but of course, if you have too much, then that bloody well get in the way, which is annoying. Still, a whole world of missiles are coming your way, matey. So yeah, let's see how this continues. What's the only? It's not very much. Why is it so low? Let's just look at the old hit chance. Target size -40. Target aspect -20. Radar only -30. Ranging -50. Big guns firing on DD. So this is how I know it's a destroyer. Right. So we might want to choose a different target from that one. Oh, no, it's the same division. Okay. Just going to push these up to near maximum. Neisner turret back in action. 2% damage. That's much more like it. Thank you. So let's crank some of these up. Let's see if nearly 3% now. Being spotted by enemy aircraft. Boo.